Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about this is fate. Preeta decided to bury the old Preeta and she decided to bring out the new Preeta in her by punishing Prithvi accordingly. So let's continue from there. Sherlyn, while walking, bumps into Janki. Sherlyn says that this is a house and not a park where Janki is walking up and down. Janki asks that why is Sherlyn getting angry over being hit, and she says that Sherlyn is angry because someone scolded her, so she asks her for the name of the person. Sherlyn replies that no one can scold her because she is the one who scolds them. Janki says that she knows that Sherlyn doesn't have any manners to talk with people, but she is glad that someone has finally come who can give Sherlyn an answer. Sherlyn threatens Janki not to cross her limit. Janki replies that she is giving an answer and she is going to complain about Sherlyn to the owner of this house. Sherlyn says that she doesn't consider Preeta as the owner of the house. Janki informs Sherlyn that there is still time to sort her ways and come to the better side, as who knows when Rishabh would also come back. Sherlyn informs Janki that it can be that she doesn't want Rishabh to come back. Then Sherlyn gets shocked, thinking that she needs to mend her statement. Sherlyn says that she can also implicate Janki as the reason why Rishabh has left the house, and she asks Janki to go and tell Preeta that she must not cause any problem for her and she should do what she tells her, as who knows if she might forgive her after all it happens. Janki sees Natasha going and she thinks that she is not still able to understand the reason that Natasha is living in this house. Nagrai asks Prithvi that what is he doing and how long is he going to undo his problems. Prithvi asks that what is Nagrai saying, as he has never made a mistake and Nagrai is a lawyer, so it is his duty, but instead of defending his case, Nagrai is taking the side of the enemies. Nagra says that he just stopped Prithvi from fighting because Preeta has even now impressed the investors, but if they saw Prithvi fighting with Karan, then they would just say that Prithvi is fighting with a famous cricketer. Prithvi says that he doesn't even want to consider Karan as a cricketer. Nagra says that a famous cricketer always has his reputation. Sherlyn and Natasha enters the room. Prithvi asks Natasha that what has she done. Sherlyn asks Prithvi to also ask Natasha what has she not done, since Natasha always tends to make stupid plans, and even when she tries to tell her that she is wrong, then she doesn't listen, but instead she will start fighting with her. Prithvi shouted, warning both Natasha and Sherlyn to stop fighting. He asked Sherlyn to tell him what has happened, and Sherlyn tells Prithvi that Natasha tends to make stupid plans and she also not listen to anything that she says. Prithvi asks Sherlyn to tell Natasha to undo Preeta, as who knows if she might be able to ruin everything. Nagra leaves, saying that who knows if she might die. Sherlyn, walking after Prithvi, stops him, asking that what is he doing, because he listened to the plans of Natasha and he refused to listen to her. Prithvi says that he is angry and he doesn't want to listen to Sherlyn's tantrums. Sherlyn says that after she has suffered all of Prithvi's tantrums, then Prithvi is now listening to another girl. Prithvi says that Sherlyn is getting jealous unnecessarily and he has warned her that he doesn't like this jealous type of a wife. Sherlyn asks that how dare Prithvi to compare her to Natasha, as they get jealous with someone who is on the same social level, but Natasha is a low-level dancer. Prithvi informs Sherlyn that it is her ego which is speaking and he really hates it. Prithvi explains that if anyone comes telling him that they can take revenge from Preeta, then they would have the highest importance in his life. Sherlyn says that Prithvi is really confused and he doesn't even understand. First, he insisted on taking revenge on Rishabh and she got married to Rishabh, and now there's not even any memory of Rishabh in this house. Prithvi asks that what has Sherlyn done since she was already a criminal-minded person. Sherlyn replies that she was not like this before, but she became a criminal after meeting Prithvi, and Prithvi is really a selfish person who tends to kill someone after his needs are met. Prithvi in anger asks if he has killed Sherlyn till now, and hearing this, Sherlyn gets really shocked that Prithvi can say this to her. Sherlyn warns Prithvi that he cannot do anything wrong about her because Prithvi knows that she is unknowingly the daughter-in-law of the Luthra family and she can do a lot of work for him. Prithvi informs Sherlyn that it is just Sherlyn's thought of mind, as he has till now not allowed anyone to say such things to him, but there is only one person who can say it, and that is Sherlyn. Prithvi says that it is the truth, that he is really a selfish person because he throws people out of his life, but Sherlyn is mistaken because he did not do the same to her, and it is not because he is scared of her. but it is because he loves her, so Shailene must not throw him out of her love, and the biggest fact is that he wants to snatch everything from Preeta. Prithvi says that he really wants to take revenge and he will do it today, so for anyone who agrees to help him achieve his goal, then he is willing to take their help. Prithvi sees that someone is hearing their conversation from outside the room, and he immediately informs Shailene that she considers the Luthras to be her family and she worries about protecting them. Shailene replies that Prithvi has done a lot to harm the family, but he must not do anything wrong to her, as Preeta has already come to ruin their lives. Prithvi, walking out of the room, asks Janki that what is she doing hearing their conversation, because it is not a good manner. Janki asks that what is Shailene and Prithvi doing in the same room. Krithika comes there. Prithvi asks Krithika to bring his phone from the room since he forgot it. Prithvi says that Krithika is his wife, while Shailene is the daughter-in-law of this house, and Janki must eat a lot and especially sweet, as then she will speak in a polite manner and she will get strong, and this take time. However, only seconds to ruin it. Prithvi leaves. Shailene coming asks if Janki received what she wants. Janki replies that she was just walking around, but Shailene must reveal what she was doing all alone in the room with Prithvi. Shailene asks that why is Janki worried. Janki replies that she is for now going to tell everyone what is going on between both Shailene and Prithvi. Shailene thinks that they would have to take care of Janki. Preeta is working and she sees Janki sitting with a lot of tension, so she asks that what has happened and why is she sitting alone. She asks that where is Shruti. Janki says that she sent Shruti back home since Salah is alone. Preeta replies that it is for the better, but why is Janki worried? Janki says that she is worried if Preeta might get into trouble herself while trying to protect the family. Janki informs Preeta that Shailene was already against her, but she feels that someone who was once a close friend of Preeta is now going to go against Preeta, and Krithika will now stand by her husband to protect him against Preeta. Preeta says that she will not feel bad because they all know how Krithika's first marriage got ruined, so if it happens the second time, then everyone will raise question on the girl. Preeta explains that she is not saying that Krithika is wrong, because Krithika is just traditional and she worries about doing what is right, which is why Janki must not think wrong of her. Janki replies that this is the attitude of Preeta, and she leaves. Preeta turns to walk away. Karan comes to stand in front of her. They both started thinking about the beautiful past moments that they have spent together, and they started getting uncomfortable. Preeta, looking away, leaves. Saying that, Karan gets really tensed. Rakhi noticed something wrong from behind, so coming to Karan, she asks him that who was he looking at. Karan says that he was looking at Preeta. Rakhi asks that where is Preeta. Karan informs Rakhi that Preeta just went away and he is not able to understand what Preeta is doing, and he sometimes feels that Preeta has come as an enemy, and sometimes he thinks that Preeta has come to take the Luthra Empire to the new heights. Rakhi says that she feels that Preeta has just come for the sake of love and she cares for their family, and she requests Karan not to fight with Preeta because Preeta is already fighting against Prithvi. Karan assures Rakhi that he is always with Preeta against Prithvi, and they both hug each other. Krithika enters the room searching for Prithvi's phone. She is not able to find it, so she thinks of looking for it in the drawers. Prithvi shows his phone in his hand. Krithika asks that why did Prithvi send her to the room to find the phone. Prithvi says that he wanted to talk with Krithika, and Prithvi explains that he has not given Krithika the love that Krithika deserves, and he only gave her the anger, and this is because Krithika stood by his enemy Preeta. Krithika says that how can Prithvi forgive her when she got him arrested, but Prithvi replies that it was not Krithika who got him arrested, but it was Preeta who got him arrested, and Krithika accepted Preeta's plan because Krithika is really humble, and he got angry because Krithika betrayed him, and Preeta made sure that she stood against her husband. Prithvi tells Krithika that he feels that he is also at fault since he had a lot of opportunities to explain to Krithika, but he was not able to do it because of the anger, as he was not able to understand how can his wife go against him, and it makes Krithika believe that he is not a wrong person, but the situation and the people have made him like this. Prithvi tells Krithika that they can start a new life as he feels that the one who has been wronged the most is Krithika, and Prithvi, holding his hand, apologized to Krithika, assuring her that they will be like their old self when he used to give her the respect, and they will just be like a couple. Prithvi stretches his hand forward, asking if Krithika would forgive him so that they can start a new life, and Krithika is not able to go ahead and accept his request. Prithvi assures Krithika that it is nothing to be worried about because he has done a lot of bad things in his life. Prithvi turns to leave, assuring that he would always love Krithika. Krithika hugs Prithvi from behind, saying that she was not able to say it, but she loves him a lot. Prithvi hugging Krithika says that what is the need to pick a sword when he can win it with a needle. He says that Krithika would fight this war on his behalf, and he makes Krithika promise that she will not stand with Preeta. Krithika promised Prithvi that she would always stand beside him. Prithvi meets both Mr. Nanavre and MLA Sahab. They says that Prithvi was not seen around, and Prithvi informs them that he went to give money to one of his employees since they needed this help, so he went there. And he praises himself by saying that he has never judged anyone who works for him, trying his best to make them feel as the owners of the company. Prithvi says that he doesn't want to praise himself, but his mother says that he has the tendency to feel the problems which others are facing. Prithvi says that Preeta would have given the presentation, but there is a change, that the owner of the company is Malhotra Industries. Mr. Nanavre explains that he is an experienced person and he can clearly see that Prithvi is insecure, and it can be witnessed on the face of anyone who feels that someone has taken away something from them. And Prithvi even says a popular saying that says that people tend to see what they desire, but Preeta is different and she has a different spark. Prithvi assures them that he can take their investment to a whole new level, explaining that anyone can make a presentation, but he must not trust the girls since they say something else, but they end up doing something entirely else. The MLA replies that they are really satisfied with the presentation that Preeta presented, and they really want to discuss further aspects with Preeta, but she is nowhere to be found, and later they see Preeta coming. Preeta coming explains that she found out that the investors wants to talk with her, but she wants to explain certain points in the presentation that she left out purposefully, after which they can discuss all the points. Preeta lives with the investors, while Prithvi thinks that he would have to do something about Preeta once and for all. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, share it, and I'll see you all again in my next video. Bye guys.